Most people hit $100,000 and completely miss the moment their life just changed. No celebration, no signal, no upgrade. Just a number, sitting there. And that's exactly why it's dangerous. Because if you don't recognize what just happened, you slow down right when things are about to accelerate. Here's the part almost no one tells you. $100,000 isn't a milestone. It's a switch. And once it flips, money stops behaving the way you're used to. But before we get there, you need to see why this matters. Because the hardest part of building wealth in Australia is not getting to $1 million. It's getting from zero to your first $100,000. That's the phase most people underestimate, and it's where most people quit. Let's break it. Before $100,000, you are the entire system. Every dollar comes from you, your time, your effort, your discipline. You save $1,000, your net worth goes up $1,000. That's it. No leverage, no amplification. Just you, pushing. And it feels slow. Not a little slow, painfully slow. But here's the mistake most people make. They think it's a motivation problem. It's not. It's math. At $20,000, a 5% return gives you $1,000 a year. You barely feel it. At $50,000, $2,500 a year. Still feels invisible. At this stage, it's not failing, it's just too early to feel the result. So what happens here? People start second-guessing everything. Is this even working? Why does it feel so slow? Should I be doing something else? And right there, that exact moment, is where most people quit. Not because it doesn't work, but because it doesn't feel like it's working. And that's the trap. Because what you don't see is that you're not stuck. You're building pressure. You're loading momentum. And at $100,000, that pressure finally releases. Now watch this carefully. This is where the shift actually happens. This is where the equation changes, not slightly, fundamentally. Now your money starts working with you. At 7%, that's $7,000 a year. At 8%, $8,000. At 10%, $10,000. That's no longer invisible. That's real money showing up, without you working another hour. But here's where it gets even more interesting. You're still contributing. Maybe $10,000, $15,000 a year. But now something new is happening. Your returns are catching up to your effort. For the first time, you are not the only engine. Your portfolio has momentum. And this is where everything starts to feel different. Because compounding stops being theory and becomes real. You can see it. You can feel it. And once you feel it, you stop doubting it. But the real change isn't the money. Before $100,000, every decision feels heavy. You hesitate. You overthink. You operate in survival mode. Can I afford this? After $100,000, the question changes. Is this worth it? That one shift changes everything. You stop reacting and start choosing. You negotiate differently. You invest with more conviction. You take calculated risks instead of avoiding everything. Why? Because you've proven something to yourself. You can create money, not just earn it. And that identity shift is what separates people who build wealth from people who stay stuck chasing it. Now here's something almost no one talks about. $100,000 doesn't just grow faster, it accelerates faster. If your first $100,000 took 5, 7, even 10 years, the next one often comes in half the time. Sounds unrealistic? It's not. Here's why. Now you have two engines, your contributions and your returns. And every year, those returns get bigger, which pulls the next milestone closer. This is where the curve starts to bend, but only if you stay in the game long enough to see it. So what does $100,000 actually unlock? This is where it becomes real. First, real investing options. You're no longer stuck in basic savings. You can build diversified ETF portfolios across Australian and global markets. You start earning dividends, distributions, long-term growth. Second, flexibility. An unexpected expense doesn't reset you anymore. You don't panic. You absorb it and keep moving. Third, opportunity. Now capital starts to matter. Property deposits, business ideas, scaling investments. You're no longer waiting for chances. You can act on them. And here's the part that surprises most people. Once you hit $100,000, you stop thinking about $100,000. Now it's $250,000, $500,000, $1 million. Because you've seen the system work. And that removes the biggest barrier of all, doubt. But don't get this twisted. $100,000 is not you've made it. It's you've entered the game. From here, the rules change. Consistency matters more. Discipline matters more. And time becomes your biggest advantage. So if you're not there yet, pay attention. You're in the hardest phase, the slowest phase, the phase where quitting feels logical. But mathematically, this is the phase that matters most. Because once you break through it, everything speeds up, everything compounds, everything gets more powerful. And if you're already at $100,000, this is not where you relax. This is where you double down. Because from here, it's no longer about if it works. It's about whether you stay long enough to see it. Because once it starts working, it doesn't stop. Most people just don't realize it until it's already happening. If this changed how you see money, subscribe. Because what happens after this point moves faster than you think.